a new day. You guys just saw me pop in the trans. It just bolted right up, as expected. Everything went great. The clutch alignment's great. Throwout's great. I couldn't have asked for a better scenario. So I thought I got lucky. If you saw towards the end of that time lapse, I was bolting up the factory Y33 trans mount and rubber bushing because it is so close. It's an inch off. And there for a second, I was going to just waller out the holes and just bolt it right up, but that's not how we do it. I don't want any kind of failure points with this, considering this thing's going to be drifted. It's going to get clutch kicks. The drivetrain's going to get somewhat abused. So I didn't want any points of failure. So if you're doing this at home and you want to do it that way, go for it. But it's an inch off. I didn't want to even risk it. So I'm going to make a trans mount. Like I said, so this is the factory Y33 actual bushing mount, and it bolts right up to the CD. And as you can see, this spacing was an inch off. Like, it's almost perfect. Almost perfect. But no worries. I've got this 2x4 piece of steel, 1/4 inch thick. So we'll make something that looks nice out of that, and that's going to be plenty strong. We're going to go ahead and make it and paint it and bolt it up. Guys, apparently I set you up for some time lapse and my camera was dead. So you missed a few things. I went ahead and drilled my holes to go to the chassis, and I started cutting my hole for the trans bushing to go in. Pretty simple process. Just note the offset from where your chassis is to how far back your trans bushing is. So I set these as far that way as possible, and I kind of matched the stock one a little bit. I went back and forth trying to make sure that I got the right measurements. I went to 1/2 inch hole. It's really a M10 bolt, so that way we got a little bit of wiggle room. So what I'm going to do is, you can see my black Sharpie lines. I cut these so that I have a nice rounded corner when I cut this hole open, and it's not jagged and looks like crap. I used a rotor broach for that, which is that fancy tool right there. It's basically a nicer version of a hole saw. It cuts cleaner. It won't wobble. It's more accurate, and it's just so easy to use and butter. It's so sharp. So guys, I just finished the trans mount. You guys watched me build it. I couldn't help myself. I had to bolt it right up, and I grabbed Ed and Dan too. What do you guys think?
It's I called it the Arby's trans mount because it's got the meat. That's beefy.
Big boy. Ain't gonna be breaking that while you're drifting.
Yeah, you're not breaking that.
Beefy boy.
Yeah, well, I figured, I could have used the factory one, but I didn't want it to break on clutch
this
kicks
is
or
better.
anything.
Yeah, this is way better.
This car's gonna get abused, so that is, that's 1/4 inch thick steel.
Yep.
And it's
In a tube.
And it's a tube, so it's not going anywhere. It's pretty sick.
And drive shafts in.
Shout out to Driveshaft Pro. Dude, these guys, listen, if you guys ever need a custom drive shaft for anything, I'm telling you, it's been a godsend finding these guys. They're awesome.
Yep, pretty sick. Pretty sick, Devin.
Not too bad.
Can I go back to work now?
You can. They're going to go back and do dealership things,
I'm
right?
going to go talk to more of you guys, so.
Ed?
I'm just going to do normal Ed things. I'm going to generally manage.
Ed gets these cars rolling, man. See you guys.
Okay, bye.
Bye. So yeah, guys, I got the drive shaft in, got the trans up. This is awesome. Everything's going together great. As you can see, there's the trans mount. I had to notch it here for the bushing to come through, and it somehow lined up perfectly right there. Beautiful. and it lined up very well back here where these ribs go too. So turned out great. If you guys have to do this, I would highly suggest it. I love it. So driveshaft is in. Like Dan said, huge shout out Driveshaft Pro. This thing turned out amazing. They knew what throw we needed and everything for the yoke. It's perfect. So next we're gonna tackle this shifter. We got the GK Tech short shifter, and it's a whole assembly too. So it shrinks back, and we're hoping it goes right there where the factory auto shifter is. So it looks like now I will pull this mount out, get it prepped, get it painted, and start tearing the interior apart. I decided to change it up a little bit. Before I paint the trans cross member, I'm going to go ahead and make sure that our shifter location is going to work. So we have the GK Tech shifter relocation kit, and it moves the shifter towards the trans, towards the engine, closer, because normally the factory one's probably like 6 to 10 inches away from the back of the trans, which is way too long for here. So it looks like it's gonna put us, I'd say the shifter's gonna be somewhere like around here, which I don't know if that's gonna be too far forward, but all I can do is pull apart that center console and look down through the shifter hole and see how far forward it actually is, and then we'll have to make our mind up. But let's go ahead and tear it apart and we'll see. So as you guys can see, the shifter assembly is completely out. Fairly easy process, wasn't too bad. If you guys are doing this at home, all you gotta do is pop this panel out. It literally pops out, no bolts or anything. I popped the bezel, the little rubber grommet that goes all the way around this shifter assembly, out first. That way it's easier just to pop it in and out. Once you get that out, you want to go ahead and pop the cup holder area out, and there's 2 bolts up here, as you can see, and then there's 2 back here. You pop the clip that holds the center console down out, and then you can get to these bolts. And once you have those accessed, there's going to be 4 10 mils right there, and the 2 studs, and then it pops right out. So we have run into a dilemma. We have right now the GK Tech Z33 CD009 shifter relocation kit. Beautiful kit, works amazing, it bolts right up, but I don't know if you guys can see it, that is it. And if I put the shifter in here earlier, and that puts us way forward, and I just have a feeling that it's gonna wind up punching the radio or something. And the other issue is, this is really deep down in here. Let me get this bezel out of the way. Place it down over there safely. This is really deep. Like, it's a whole hand, if not longer, so I'd say 6 inches or so down in there. We have to try to find another shifter or make a shifter of some sort. I just don't want to do anything sketchy. That's not what we do. I want something safe for Alex. I want something nice for Alex. So we're going to sit down and have a conversation about it with Ed and Josh and Chris and Dan, and we'll see what we can come up with, and I will update you guys.